shouldn't be hard. Life should be a fun-filled adventure every day. So now start joining up dots. Tap into your talents, your skills, your God-given gifts, and tell your boss, you don't deserve me. I'm out of here. It's time for you to smash that alarm clock and start getting the dream business and life you, well, of course, are dreaming of. Let's join your host, David Ralph, from the back of his garden in the UK, or wherever he might be today, with another jammed-packed episode of the #1 hit podcast, Join Up Dots.
Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Join Up Dots podcast. Now, Join Up Dots as a concept isn't about sort of side hustles. It isn't about hustling harder. It's not about ideas. I think it's basically about a calm process, step by step by step, taking the dots, turning them into checklists and achieving your goals. And no matter how many times we talk about this, looking at your life and breaking it down into small, bite-sized, achievable goals. A lot of people still think it's about the big thing. It's about the big business. It's about the replacing their income all in one go. But it's not. And more often than not, no matter how many times I say this, because I've been through that process of thinking, right, I'm earning this in a salary, I've got to replace it, okay? What you need to do is quietly build income streams. That's when things finally land for you. Because one of the phrases I use all the time on the show is join up dots. And people sort of nod along, but nodding isn't the same as getting it. Because getting it is when you stop trying to win the big game, start removing the pressure from yourself, and then just make your life gradually easier to the point when you don't have to work anymore, and then you're financially free. Okay, that's what I did. Well, I went straight into trying to build a big business, failed miserably, then realised what I needed to do, and now I don't have to work for a living, okay? And I'm here to show you guys the way, because it's easy. It's easy when you realise. Because when you get it, and when you realise it, you really do remove the pressure from your life. You realise that freedom doesn't come from earning more in one area, it comes from needing less. And what I'll explain that over this podcast episode. So over the last couple of weeks, I've had emails, as I normally do, that come in from listeners all over the world. And many of them have been listening for years. And suddenly the penny has dropped. And they've listened. They finally understand the Join Up Dots message. They've done the work. And they've worked out actually what it is to keep the lights on. Okay, what is their absolute minimum requirement financially? And instead of chasing the big income, they're just quietly replacing the bills. They're building their runway. No sort of mass drama, just sort of calm progress. So I want to start off by sharing a few of those emails with you. Because if you're listening right now thinking, I'm close, but I'm not quite there yet, one of these just might be the dots that tip you over and get you really going, okay? So let's give them a fanfare. And of course a round of applause, because they deserve it, don't they? They deserve it. Okay, so the first one comes from a gentleman, and I remember this gentleman because we spent a couple of hours one evening, it must have been a good couple of years ago, and his name's Miguel. And he's based in Campo de Ourique, just outside Lisbon, or part of Lisbon. And he says, "Hi, David. I wanted to write this because I feel like I've crossed that invisible line, and it's entirely down to the Join Up Dots podcast. I've listened to your show for years, and I used to think I was doing the work because I was constantly brainstorming ideas and big plans, but nothing ever felt settled. Then our quick chat and the one episode, and I couldn't even tell you which one, has finally made me understand. you were talking about keeping the lights on first, and that was the first moment I really understood what join up dots actually means. I spent time with you. I've now stripped everything back, and I worked out the exact number I needed each month to feel calm. Not rich, but calm. Now, that's a key point, because people look at Instagram and they look at all these successful people and they've got their flash cars and stuff, but they look at the end goal and they don't look at the starting point. And the starting point is getting to that calm point, that runway where all your bills are being covered. And then you can go, and start actually working from that point. Financial freedom rarely comes from this point to that point. It's the dots. It's the dots. I keep on saying it. So Miguel says, right now I'm covering my utilities and internet through small, steady work. And for the first time in years, I'm not anxious about money. 2 future income dots I'm lining up, I'm not doing yet, are creating a simple relocation site for Lisbon-based on my own mistakes, and turning a personal Notion system into a template others can duplicate on Etsy. Thank you for teaching me that progress doesn't feel exciting. It just feels quiet and calm. And Miguel, and that line there, progress feels quiet, that's when you just know that someone stopped chasing and started building, because it is quiet. Honestly, the amount of people that have been on Join Up Dots, and I connect with them over the years, and some of them have been on Join Up Dots that I've never spoken to since. Others I keep in contact, and so many of them were employees. They started their businesses, they drove themselves into the ground, they almost stopped their businesses, and then they got quiet and started the calm process of building. And when I speak to them now, they go, I can't believe I used to hustle so hard, I used to grind so hard, because everything, progress is done by a methodical plan, quietly being ticked off. Yeah. Okay, next one. Let's give him a round of applause. And Miguel, thank you very much for dropping us a line. Hopefully you keep in contact with us. Really appreciate that. Hi, David. This is from Haraki from Tokyo. I've been listening to Join Up Dots from Setagaya in Tokyo, usually during long evening walks. For a long time I thought I understood the message, but I was still trying to skip steps. Spending time with you forced me to slow down and face the question I had been avoiding. What do I actually need to survive comfortably? Once I did that, I finally understood what Join Up Dots really means. It's not creativity, it's sequence. There you go. That's it again. You look at it and you think, I need to pay my rent. How much is my rent? Let's say £1,000 or $1,000 a month. Okay, I can either get $1,000 or can I break that into 3 lots of 300? Okay, right. What would I need to do to make one of those 300s? And you build the income streams that way. It takes away the pressure because you're not trying to build something that changes the world. You're just looking at it and you're breaking down everything into the dots. And once you do that, all my income comes literally from different forms. Not one of them really has to be maintained anymore. And some of them are just paying my TV bill each month, 15, 16 quid. So it's nothing. It just each month, £15 comes in. Now, a lot of people think that doesn't make a difference. It makes a hell of a difference because that bill is gone. I don't have to think about it. So then I work on the next one. Okay. Haruki says, I mapped out my core monthly costs and began building small income streams purely to neutralize those expenses, not to scale, not to grow, just to stabilize. And the strange thing is, once the pressure disappeared, clarity arrived. 2 future income ideas I'm quietly preparing are licensing minimalist illustrations I've already created and building a short email course around calm routines for remote workers. They're all going to wait until the time is right. There's no rush anymore from Haruki. Brilliant. Let's round applause you. And that's the bit most people miss again. when the pressure goes, clarity turns up. I remember back in the day racing to try to get things out for a weekend because I think, if I don't do it, I'm going to miss the boat. There's more customers. There's more opportunities. You never have to rush and kill yourself, but you can't leave it too long. You've got to keep on doing it. Okay, but do it in a calm way, not motivation, not excitement, just calm thinking. Right, the last one is from Camilla in Santiago in Chile, and she writes, "Hi David, I've listened to many episodes of the Join Up Dots podcast as you know, while commuting and cooking, and for years I thought success meant movement, doing more, pushing harder. Spending time with you in my ears and in person helped me work out the number that keeps my life running: rent, food, transport, peace of mind. That's when I finally understood what Join Up Dots means. It's about removing urgency so decisions become sensible again. I'm now replacing individual bills, just like you advised, with small, boring income. And I mean that as a compliment. Boring feels safe. 2 future income dots I'm going to be doing are turning internal training notes into an onboarding toolkit and recording short audio lessons on simplifying workload. No pressure, no deadlines, just dots waiting their turn." And Camilla, and honestly, boring income might be the most exciting thing you ever build. I say on Join Up Dots a lot, that's non-sexy businesses are the best. You know, when people need their plumbing done because they've got water across the floor, then you don't really need marketing. You don't need sales. You just need somebody to know that you're available to do it. And those kind of boring task-based, where you know, if you're talented enough, you could go round and put up some fence panels or whatever. You don't have to do them all the time. You just have to go, okay, a couple of weekends a month, or one weekend a month, I'd do that, and then that will pay a certain amount of bill. You don't have to have everything restricting your life. And a lot of people think that. A lot of people go, when have I got time to do this? When have I got? You can always find time to do the things you want to do. I say that to my family all the time. They always find the time to go off to this and do that and stuff, but when I want them to do something, they go, didn't have time. You always can find the time for things you want to do. So for those three, Miguel, Haruki and Camilla, big round of applause. So proud of you. Thank you so much for spending time with me and actually doing something with it. I can't tell you how many people have spent time with me, and then I message them to find out what they're doing. I don't even get an answer back because I just know they haven't done it. So if you're listening to this thinking, I've got ideas, but I haven't worked out my number yet, that's your next dot. Not the business, not the brand, not the dream, the number you need to keep your lights on. Because once you know what keeps the lights on, everything else becomes optional. And that is where freedom lives. Okay, so do the work. Work out exactly what you need, and not, your Spotify and your Apple and all those kind of things. The absolute fundamentals that you need to survive. Stripping back everything, okay? Because that is the moment you understand what it's going to take to build freedom in your life. Okay, so if this episode has helped you see things more clearly, please do me a favor, drop us an email, joinupdots@gmail.com, and tell us your plans. Tell us if it's a load of rubbish and you think, no, that's not going to work, then let us know. It's the only way we can improve. Please leave a review, subscribe to the show, and share it with someone who's stuck chasing when they really just need calm. And as always, just stay sexy. Just believe in yourself, feel confident, feel comfortable, and I'll see you in the next episode. So keep it going, and we'll see you again shortly. Look after yourselves. Cheers. See ya. Bye-bye.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. And Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join Up